All right, and breaking news literally into my ear right now in Horry County, folks. It is now time. First responders can no longer go out. The winds are so high. We told you this was coming. Here we are at 11 o'clock. That's how much conditions have deteriorated since early this morning.
This is what's so interesting. Like, take a look at this. Okay, his father, this is the same board that was used during Hugo in 1989. His father wrote this, then in Fran in 1996, and then William did this one, okay, Hurricane Florence in 2018. So these boards all of these boards have great significance.
Need their help for sure.
Yeah, very much.
And take a look at this, total destruction this morning. This is brand new video. We are just getting out of New Bern. We've been telling you that has been hard hit this morning by Hurricane Florence. This is a marina there. Look at that. The water completely engulfing it. Also, winds are picking up out in the PD. A lot of people are in shelters. In fact, 2 shelters are now at capacity, according to our Tanya Brown. She's live for us right now in Florence. What's happening?
Hey, Crystal. Right now we're at the South Florence High School, where it's the shelter of the American Red Cross, and inside it's about 150 people.
And caught on camera, check this out, a power line exploded right behind a storm chaser.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, that is storm chaser Blake Brown. He sent this in from Wilmington just before sunup. Certainly seeing a lot of destruction there as Florence moves through. I'm not sure if it's going to loop again. Wow.
Wish we had the audio, but you can tell he's pretty surprised.
To the north of us. Again, this is going to be a historic rain event, and Ed has been in this market a long time. He's saying this is the most rain he's forecasted for our area. So keep that in mind. This is a marathon, not a sprint. We're talking rain for the next 48 hours. Look at this. It's the coast at Carolina Beach. Not too far from here. You can see that surf there climbing up the sand, but not quite breaching the seawall. There has been some damage from the first half of this storm, mostly shingles blown off on roofs and some toppled. Check this out, a stern warning on the boarded up windows at Knuckleheads Bar and Grill in Myrtle Beach. Look at that sign. It says looters will be shot.
Apparently North Myrtle Beach really getting the rain as those initial bands move in. Nick Papantonis has been live for us all over today. Hopefully you can hear us okay there. Nick, what's going on in North Myrtle Beach?
So what's going on, guys, is it's starting to feel much more like we are in a tropical system. Of course the winds died as I start talking to you, but here we go. The winds have picked up. They are blowing rain pretty much sideways to the point where I'm trying to lean this way a little bit in order to not be off balance. There's a good amount of wind damage. You can see this awning still flapping in the wind here. It was completely destroyed off this pizza shop yesterday. I mean, there's pieces of the lights, the metal, all over the road out here, and it is continuing to break apart and just fly out into ocean.
These wind gusts have been as this storm has moved across the Carolinas, and there it goes, the umbrella, no match for the power of Florence.
It's just, it's interesting to see. As weather conditions and the threat of flood risk continue.
Now we're deeply concerned about massive flooding inland, and we're still evacuating areas all along the rivers in North Carolina. There's probably not a county or a person that won't be affected in some way by this very massive and violent storm.
I mean, a boat came out of the water and into a home. This is New Bern. Just another example of damage of a boat pushed up on the bank right into a home.
Let's go ahead and listen in for what they have to say at this 11 o'clock hour.
Good morning, everyone. The flood danger from this storm is more immediate today than when it made landfall just 24 hours ago. And this one is sure testing us. But now is the time for us to persevere. I have never known North Carolinians to quit in the face of a challenge, and we're not about to start.
Show you exactly what these crews are doing. You guys have been talking here for a little while just about what all these line crews are doing out here. They've been working around the clock throughout this storm as safely as they can when the winds aren't as high. And I can tell you right now, the winds have died down significantly where we are here in Kingston Plantation. This is King Road, and they have been out here for the past about 2 hours now trying to restore power to this community.
Much lighter note. Look at that. But see, this could be any day in our area. Geese are are always kind of crossing the street, but this is Surfside Beach. They're strolling and they're enjoying the lack of traffic. That is good. Obviously dealing with a little bit of water, but it's business as usual for these geese.
High waves, and the surf is coming up. If you take a look, you can see that the waves are actually pushing up much closer, even touching some of the buildings that we have here and the dunes. So significant difference between yesterday when the wind was holding the ocean back and today when it's coming barreling through. We've got high tide in about an hour, so we'll check and see how the water level is then.
We've got some vehicles here. These are from the National Guard. We do have folks from the National Guard here. They're kind of just talking to us a little bit before we got on here, but it sounds as though pretty soon there are going to be folks who are going to be again knocking on some doors, just really again warning people of the potential for flood risk. Of course,
obviously this is a little bit different for him.
Yeah, we've told you in the past about FEMA's Waffle House Index, if you will. They pay attention to if Waffle Houses are opened or closed during a major storm like this. What can you tell us right now, Dan? Again, live in downtown Myrtle Beach.
Well, guys, we don't have any Waffle Houses in Maine, so I don't know too much about the WAHO Index, but I do know that this Waffle House here, all the lights are on, but they're closed this morning. I can tell you we could use some coffee this morning, and fret not, once the storm passes, this Waffle House plans to reopen. So the people here at this Waffle House will definitely be ready to serve some smothered and covered hash browns and some waffles to the folks who I'm sure will need a good breakfast and a good meal after this storm passes through.
You can also
so
see
over the next few
where the
days,
wind has ripped apart light fixtures like this. And this is pretty heavy. So if it makes its way into the street, because it's metal, it could do a lot of damage to cars.
that this gas station was using to strap it down to the concrete here, this pole in here, and obviously a very good creative way to make sure that their sign didn't blow away with some of the heavy, strong winds that we saw over the course of the evening and yesterday afternoon.
One of the things that you said that really struck me was that you're nervous yourself because you live in a mobile home in Marion and you're here working, but you're worried. How worried are you about the place you call home?
I just don't want to go back and like everything is gone. Like I don't want to be flooded out or anything. Like I'm not ready to start over, so I just hope it's not as bad.
2nd Avenue North. You know, obviously I can't go by everyone's house, but hopefully you get an idea of what the neighborhood is looking like. And as you know, if you were here for Hurricane Matthew, I mean, the streets were just, you know, littered with trees down and a bunch of branches, and there are some leaves.
As far as when we can finally get the all clear for you guys to come home, and that cannot even happen until our crews get out there and assess all of the storm damage. And obviously, they can't assess the damage when we're in the middle of the storm right now.
Yeah, I'll go over those 3 levels. We're not even in level 1 right now, so
Right.
just keep that in mind.
Boards up over their windows. As you can see, these windows are shattered, so they'll have to deal with that today. So this is what we're seeing, just historic flooding in this area. Emergency responders.
You want to really be careful. It's probably not best to be out on the roads at all at this point, but if you are, you want to be really, really careful of where you're going. Again, this here just outside of Conway, right along Green Sea Road, but certainly pictures like these starting to come up all across our viewing area. So
Talk
please
about what's coming up for you this week, because you guys still have a very long week ahead of you.
That's right, and just like you were just saying, while the winds are now gone from this storm, what we have to deal with is going to be a lot in the coming weeks and coming days and coming weeks as the rivers begin to rise. We've been going door to door and we've been telling people, you know, if you had flooding during Hurricane Matthew, if you almost had flooding during Hurricane Matthew, you should expect it from Hurricane Florence, because the water, it continues to rise, and we're looking at about 3 feet above Matthew.
But some things that did happen here, these trash cans have been knocked down, and I want to point this out because this is metal. This is pretty heavy. I thought these were light, but this is pretty heavy. So that wind was so intense to knock down both of these trash cans, and we're staying here at this hotel on Memorial Drive, and these front doors have been rattling back and forth every time the wind gust has been coming in. I'm joined with Kevin now, and Kevin, what did you see as far as these doors?
Well, if anyone knows, these types of doors are very hard to pull open, as you can see. You have to really pull on them, and both of these exterior doors came all the way out.
Good morning, guys. About 9 miles from where we joined you last hour in downtown Georgetown. We're now at the Pawleys Island Causeway, and we are not going any further. The road is closed. There's about 4 National Guardsmen telling you stop, turn around,
when
and
everything
go
will be recovered. Now, come here with me. We'll walk here up the street, up Atlantic Avenue. And again, businesses up and down are boarded. And this right here, well, this is the arcade. And once we get over here to the window, you'll be able to see that they took all the games out, and I just imagine that is in anticipation of a major flood so that the games won't get touched. They've also boarded up the windows inside, and you know, when you have to start boarding up stuff inside your building, you know that you are expecting something, but people are heeding the warnings.
We're starting to see our first little bit of damage from some of the wind that we've had here. I want to take you up over here. There are some of the businesses that have their own awnings up here. This one right here, you can hear it clanking right there. It actually ripped off the whole top over here. There's still some actually the fabric holding on, but down here there's metal kind of all blocking the sidewalk here. This is the type of stuff that's been flying around because of the high winds that we're seeing here. And it's been getting worse and worse throughout the morning. I want to show you across the street the American flags that are over there. You can see some of them are tethered and still holding strong, though.
The Waffle
one on the
House
right
Index,
there.
and I just want to show you an example of that. Green means it's a full menu. Yellow means it's a limited menu. That's what this Waffle House right over near CCU on Highway 501 has right now. They got a limited menu, just a few basic items like waffles and grilled cheese sandwiches.
Go ahead and take a look at some pictures that people are submitting to chime in here. This is a tree snapped out of Loris. You see there, you see a trampoline, it looks like, toppled onto the top of a truck. This is what we're seeing a lot of, though, are down trees. Look at that. Trees just, you know, split right down the middle. That just goes to show how strong the winds can be at times, and it can do some serious damage. So
When
just be
all
safe
else is
out
closed, we keep talking about it's a ghost town. There's one light on, there's one open door, and that, of course, is at the Waffle House.
We moved over to about 5th Avenue North, right at Ocean Boulevard, and I just want to show you a little bit of the damage that we've seen out here. As this is a roof that was completely ripped off this motel here. You can see all of the metal pieces and this kind of tar roof. The whole thing just kind of acted like a sail and was ripped right off. But we just noticed landing on right on top of it is actually a stop sign. This stop sign, this stop sign was ripped right off the street sign right here on Ocean Boulevard and 5th Avenue North, and that's just how strong the wind is in this area. Let me put it back down here so it doesn't fly.
The sprinklers, did y'all notice that the sprinklers are on? I'm not sure what that's all about, but I don't think we need sprinklers right now.
It's been a wild Hurricane Florence. The rain is now the main story, in my opinion. The wind is kind of tapered off here in Wilmington.
There's people out of power as well. Just a reminder, you know, you've probably already thought of this, but your phone can be charged in your car. A lot of cars will charge the phones without the car even being on. So, you know, when it's light like this, you can run out there, plug your phone in, run back inside, wait a while, and then go get it. And that'll keep you connected because, of course, in case there's an emergency or anything else going on. Plus, to be able to watch us and watch the conditions and kind of know what's going on. It's a little bit of a security blanket. So just an idea to throw
Boulevard down here to the beach access on 6th Avenue. You can actually see just how much more wind there is right here along the water. And I'm actually not being pelted by rain right here. I'm being pelted by this pool. There's a pool back in the side of the hotel over here that is just being whipped up by this wind, and that's actually what's flying over at me. It's coming right up and over.
Right now we're off Highway 17 business, and you know, a lot of the businesses around here are boarded up, and they've got the no flow. This one has an angel telling people to stay safe, and you know, that's the kind of sentiment of everybody who's here and who's evacuated to stay
We wanted
safe.
to show you, we have our car lights going so we can show as much as we can of the beach. Right now it is high tide. High tide was at 1 a.m. and you guys, it's definitely high tide. I hope you can see at least a bit of it with our car lights on there. The water is a lot higher than I'm used to seeing it, and I live here in Surfside Beach, so I'm used to coming down here during high tide, and I can tell it is a lot higher, and those waves are just crashing
there really
down.
Isn't
We're seeing
much.
a lot of
This
peaks.
fountain here that's downtown is actually kind of getting full. I'm pretty sure that that's going to be overflowing within the next couple hours or so as the rains stay consistent down here in this area.